A lost world has been discovered, and clues leading to its secret entrance have been hidden around the world. Your goal? Find them in the game Lost Explorers. Thank you for joining us at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp.
And I'm Kevin Delp. Lost Explorers is a set collection game for 2 to 4 players that plays in about 40 minutes.
It's designed by Cédrick Chaboussit and published by Ludonaute. They sent us this copy to review.
The game comes with a game board that is part of the box itself. There's also tokens and meeples. Here's a quick overview of the game. You'll be gaining missions, moving your team members around the map to different locations, and completing missions in order to gain clues to the secret entrance to the lost world.
The first person to gain 4 clues wins the game.
During phase 1 of your turn, you can spend your team members in the equipment areas to gain tokens. Spend 1 to get the first token, 2 members to gain the second, and so on.
It's your choice to either take that token as a new mission, flipping it to the mission side, or to keep it as the vehicle, basically the color shown. Once you decide, you can't switch.
You could also send unused team members on an expedition by placing them on locations on the world map. You need to have the vehicle tokens shown on the location, but you only have to spend 1 vehicle token instead of all of them.
During phase 2, you can complete missions if you have expedition members on each location shown on the token. After completing it, you return 1 of the used team members to your supply.
You'll then move your expedition leader up the matching colored track in the discovery area. The number of spaces you move is based on the number of team members needed to complete the mission.
As you move up the discovery track, you'll reach Magnifying Glasses, which give you clue tokens. They are the key to winning the game. There's also a way to unlock your 4th team member, which is extremely helpful. When you gain your 4th clue, you win the game. You add up the numbers on the back of the 4 tokens and then scan the corresponding QR code on the back of the rulebook. It shows you the location to the secret entrance to the lost world.
Now the gameplay brings challenges. It's not as easy as just collecting tokens and completing missions. Other players can knock your team members off the spaces of the world map. If that happens, they pay you the vehicle token though, which is nice. But you might not get the needed vehicle token to get back on that spot.
Sometimes you'll leave your team members in spots hoping that someone will bump you and give you that token, and then other times you're hoping that no one bumps you off so you can complete the mission on your next turn.
Sometimes I'll purposely not play a team member on the board, even though I could, so I can then do it my next turn and complete the missions without risk.
When you gain a mission, there's a bit of strategy mixed with luck. You know that each location on the token will require vehicle tokens matching its color, but you won't know which locations or how many locations until you reveal the mission.
And this is the part of the game that I do like as you're collecting those color tokens and going to the different locations. I'm not spending all of my tokens to go to the location, I'm just spending 1 of them. So it's like efficiency of you getting those right tokens that are going to help you complete the missions all on 1 turn. At the end of 1 game, I was actually able to complete 2 missions on 1 turn because some of those locations overlapped for those missions.
The random nature of the missions and order of the tokens can really play into your favor, like it did for Kevin, or it can hinder your game. I had 1 game where I could have won if the mission I pulled had 3 locations, but it only had 2.
So sorry. And I had a game where almost every color token I needed was the top token through the whole game, which was extremely lucky.
The first few plays, it seemed like the luck ratio was pretty high, but with more experience, you can better judge when to take tokens as vehicles and when to take missions. Even the color of the missions can make a difference. You gain a benefit when you move up on the discovery track you're behind on. And some areas of the world will have verified locations where you don't need to place a team member to complete that mission. So those missions are a lot easier and faster to complete.
When I first heard about this game, I immediately added it to my top 10 most anticipated games of 2021. Put the link right up there. I'm personally a fan of themes like this, like the Indiana Jones vibe, exploring, discovery. And the designer of Lost Explorers also designed Lewis and Clark, which is one of my favorite board games of all time. And he also designed Discoveries, which I also enjoy. So I had high hopes for this game, but sad to say it didn't live up to my expectations.
When I was reading the rulebook, I wasn't too impressed. The translation to English isn't very smooth. It's understandable, but the sentences are kind of awkward and could have been clearer. I also wasn't super excited about the description of the gameplay, and I thought it just might not be a game for us.
Yeah, what we mean is the game is a fun game, but it just isn't our type of game. It kind of has a Splendor feel to it with the collecting of tokens. It felt too restricting and maybe a little too simple for us. And I guess I was expecting something more, something different. And the theme really didn't come through for me. It felt like an abstract game. I wanted something unique or interesting in the gameplay, and there really wasn't anything there that really made it thematic or an amazing gameplay experience.
I think the QR codes on the back of the rulebook are supposed to bring in the theme, and at first this kind of sounds cool. You find the entrance to the Lost World, but the code just shows you a spot on Google Maps. I guess that sort of brings a conclusion to the game, though.
The components in the game look really cool, and I think they're intriguing, but they can actually get in the way of gameplay. For the tokens set up in the game box, it's really important to see their order, but as you take tokens out, the remaining ones slide down, making them hard to see. So you end up with players getting out of their seats to peer into the box.
One thing we did was put something heavy, like a poker chip, on both sides to keep the tokens upright. The box could have worked better if there had been some sort of ridges or grooves on the bottom so the tokens could actually sit in them, but I understand that probably would have made the price point a little too high.
The blue and green tokens can be difficult to distinguish from each other when in the box. Once the tokens are out of the box, it's easier because of the different vehicle icons.
The game board being part of the box is nice because it's compact, but I wish it was separate. With 4 players, it can be hard for everyone to see or reach what's needed. So that probably sounded like a lot of negatives. I do think there are some interesting choices in the game, but overall, there's a bit more randomness than I prefer. The components are fiddly, and overall, I just didn't exactly enjoy what I was doing. It is a lighter game, and there are plenty of light games that I like, so it's not just that. It's light. There was just something missing for me.
I think you will enjoy this game if you like games like Splendor or Jaipur, but for me, I just rather played like Discoveries or Lewis and Clark.
Well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Sorry, I did that breath.
Yep. Is that okay?
Yeah. And I had a game where almost every color I needed was like the top token, which really helped me. I'm just going to start there. And I had a game. This is the part of the game I do like as you're collecting tokens that... centered. This is the part of the game that I do like as you're collecting the color tokens needed to go to the different locations. And I'm not spending all my locations, I just need to spend one of them. I appreciate like the efficiency.
You probably do that because you said spending your locations.
Oh, did I? Sorry, I didn't even know.
I was like, probably should stop.
No, that's fine. I didn't even know. I was in the moment.